Hey, my name is Oliver Oyster and I live in an estuary, well, a mangrove forest in Bangladesh to be specific. That's where a river mouth connects to the ocean. Freshwater mixes with saltwater, making the water brackish, and the area is usually pretty sheltered. High and low tides can also affect the estuary by changing the water level. My neighborhood is called the Mangrove Forest, and it's pretty cool, but there are a lot of little kids. My parents picked the area because the mangrove tree roots and leaves filter salt and other materials such as pollutants, making the water nice and clean. These trees serve as a nursery and spawning ground for fish. They improve water quality and provide habitat. The neighborhood is really rich because the water running through brings all of the nutrients from the watershed right here.
But not everything's great here. My friend's tree just got cleared away for a shrimp farm, and it's so toxic over there that they had to abandon the entire area. The ecosystem has become fragmented, leaving less and less room for actual neighborhoods. There are more borderlands now without actual habitat. Humans have developed more of the coastline, so more and more pollution is reaching the already strained mangrove trees. Oil and flooding can clog up the mangroves too. Erosion from deforestation upstream and coal mining also have big impacts. We might get all the nutrients from the watershed, but we get all the pollutants as well. I also have some really greedy neighbors, the slipper limpets. They want the space that the oysters have and compete with us for the same food source. If an oyster family dies off because a human caught them, then the limpets invade their house and begin to start a family. After this happens, no oysters can live there.
On top of all this, all these bad things that people are doing to our home is causing some of the animals that live here to become endangered. One of my friends, Terry Turtle, got caught in a fishing net and he got very hurt. This is constantly happening with turtles throughout our home and is causing their population to decline rapidly. Some of my other friends, Carrie Cockatoo and Sally Sloth, are facing this problem too as many people continually destroy their homes. Another one of the major causes of these endangered species are the invasive species in our ecosystem, as they cause a lot of destruction to our habitat and harm the native species. One example of an invasive species is the humans. As I have told you, humans are a huge threat to all the species in the mangroves. They arrived here hundreds of years ago when they migrated from the Middle East, and they've been hunting all of my friends ever since. Another example of this harmful type of species is the Brazilian pepper tree that grows on the very outskirts of our habitat, where the soil isn't as salty. They usually come after hurricanes or floods when the salinity of the soil is even lower than normal. When they do come, they bring diseases that spread to the mangrove trees and cause a lot of our homes to be destroyed.
My friend told me a really good story last week about a great egret, Ardea alba. They have really long legs for wading and their toes are really long for walking the mud. Their bills are adapted for catching fish, worms, crabs, and other invertebrates in the estuary. I think they're the coolest animals in the estuary. Now, there aren't a lot of great egrets to see in the estuary because of the 10% rule, which says that only 10% of the energy will get passed on from one trophic level to the next. That's why there aren't too many egrets. They don't have enough energy. Parasitism is a big problem for my oyster family. The boring sponge, Cleona calata, bores through oyster shells, killing the oysters. My friend Barney, the great blue heron, has it the best, being in a commensalistic relationship. He lives near the cattails, a tall marsh plant. The cattail protects him from predators and is a great nesting place for him. And the cattails stay unaffected, choose survival. Many other species have a really hard time trying to survive, such as the phytoplankton. He's always scared to leave his niche, as the zooplankton is always waiting to prey upon him. They're both in a predator-prey relationship. But, yeah, my friends and I have a pretty hard time around here. I wish that the humans would just leave us alone and all the invasive species would go back to where they came from.